What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great Friday the 13th. Din, din, din. All right, let's keep it moving. Appreciate you taking the time here. This is not a live video. I will be live later tonight for Fan Friday. Throwing it down, taking all your questions, comments, everything on your mind. Coming up here in week 6, and we've got a lot to talk about. And today we are going to go over all of the information that you need to know for this week 6 matchup between the Eagles and Jets. But I hope to see you live later tonight. But right now, let's get into this. And we had a few things that have happened that, in case you missed it, let's brush up on this real quick. Braden Mann was signed to the active roster. We talked about that open spot with Cam Jurgens going to the IR. So that made sense. Need a punter. He used up his 3 elevations, so he is now on the active roster. That opened up a practice squad spot. So Brandon Smith was signed. If you missed any of these videos, you can go to the YouTube, right to the homepage, wherever. There are all these videos breaking all of these things down, but want to brush up on it real quick just in case you missed it. And then today, Bradley Roby signed to the active roster. Let's go, baby. Yes, exciting. And unfortunately, it's because Justin Evans was placed on IR. So Roby doing well, and, we talked about him being that starting nickel corner. It looks like, he's going to get that gig. That's great. But now we're going to see what the Eagles do at safety. Maybe they try to make a trade, and I'm working on that video for you already. And it's going to have loads of information. It's a lot of math and contract stuff I have to look up. I want you guys to know everything you possibly need to know for that stuff. But unfortunate, he's going to miss the next 4 weeks. And then, of course, Nakobe Dean, he is designated to return off of IR. So we will need a roster spot there for one of, Nakobe Dean and whatever else you want to do here with this roster. But 2 practice squad elevations are able to happen this week. So if you don't want to, activate him this week, you do not have to. But those are the things that happen that you need to know. Now let's get into the game status report. Who's out, who's questionable for both of these teams. And we've got some big names for both teams here. Let's talk about it and start it off with the Philadelphia Eagles here. And you can see the weekly practice report. I keep you up to date each day with what's going on. And as you can see, yesterday we had Jalen Carter added to the list. Now Quez Watkins added to the list today. Did not practice as well. So those 2 are out. Now, we also have Slay and Justin Evans clearly is out because he's on IR. But 4 people are now out for this game. 3 on defense, 1 on offense there. And then you see questionable Sidney Brown and Marlon Tuipulotu. So we're going to need Sidney Brown, especially with Evans on IR. Excited about his future, but definitely need him right now. And Marlon Tuipulotu, with Carter out, we will need him as depth as well. But you've got Milton Williams, Contavious Street, Ojomo. You've got other depth pieces. So Fletcher Cox is back as well. You obviously have Jordan Davis there. So I think that we'll be all right there. But look, you don't want to sleep on any team, but it's the Jets. So let's not get too worked up here. But again, don't sleep on anyone. But you see full was Nakobe Dean today. But again, you don't have to elevate him for this game, or activate him, off of IR. So we'll see what the Eagles decide to do. And then you see Penny and Stoll there. Both will be good to go for this game as well. Now, before I show you this updated depth chart, keep in mind these are the names you will not see on this upcoming depth chart here. So anybody in green is new to the roster this season. Nakobe Dean should come off of that list soon, but everybody else pretty much there. Cam Jurgens will be back in a few weeks, but Bradley, Johnson, Maddox, McPherson, all of those guys, their season is over. We'll see how long Evans is out there, but hopefully just the 4 weeks, and then clearly Rodgers being suspended. So Justin Evans being added to this list, you will not see him coming up, just in case you're wondering why he's not there. So that was the IR and the 1 suspension we have. But Quez Watkins being out, we talked about this the last time he was. Look, Olamide Zaccheaus needs to get more reps anyway, and last week, he did not. Quez saw over 50% of the snaps, and Olamide only saw like 10%. So I can't stress it enough. I need more OZ and less Quez. So I don't ever want to see anyone hurt. That sucks. So I hope he gets healthier. But it's time for Olamide to step it up. It's as simple as that. Opeta continue to step it up. Go check out those top matchups. We got some damn good ones regardless of these injuries. And then on the defensive side of the ball, no reason that this D shouldn't be able to put a hurting on Zach Wilson and company, regardless of the injuries. And you can see Carter and Slay both out there. And look, we talked about D tackle. I think obviously Williams, Street, and Ajomo can get it done regardless of what's going on there with Tuipulotu. And then you look at Slay being out. Josh Jobe, I'm sure, has a chance to start there, but they threw Eli Ricks in there at nickel. And maybe they give him a shot outside. And Mario Goodrich, not so much on the outside, but he is a versatile piece. Kaylee Ringo's been holding it down in special teams. Don't think they want to rush him there. So I think really it's probably Jobe, but I don't want to count out Eli Ricks. And look, Bradley Roby can play some outside too. So, I mean, if you want to make things complicated, put him outside now and then have Goodrich inside or Ricks or whatever the hell you want to do here. I know they're playing around with some things, but unfortunately, these injuries are part of the game. But for Carter and Slay, they should be back after this week. So that is great news. We're going to need them for Miami. We all are very aware of that. So being precautious, maybe not sleeping on anyone, but hey, don't want to chance anything. And then you see, Sidney Brown there. Man, Justin Evans is gone. He's on IR. So, yeah, we're going to need him hopefully playing. Edmonds probably get the start, but I need Sidney Brown in there at all times, baby, whether it's a third safety, whether he's just playing over Edmonds. I don't care. We've talked about him as a nickel, as a dime backer, all of the things he can do. I wanted him in this draft and can't stress it enough how much we need him this week. So, going to be wild waiting to see what the news is there. Now, in the special teams unit, Quez Watkins used sparingly as a returner, but other than that, everybody's good to go. Braden Mann now on the active roster, so let's if and go there. Now, if we need to elevate anyone, we talked about the pieces in the secondary. Maybe, obviously you don't have to elevate a punter, so now you can do whatever you want here. And I think for me, what you're looking at here is you probably want to get Tristan McCollum. He was elevated the other week. I would do that again just because you don't know what's going on. Even if Sidney plays, you want to be precautious there. And, beyond that, I really don't think you need, anything on offense. So if you're worried about whatever, I really think, and clearly Roby will come off of this list here because he was just signed to the active roster, but someone will replace him. And I think, look, you want to give another linebacker a shot just to see before Nakobe Dean comes back, what you're dealing with here. I really don't know, but you could, need somebody for special teams help if somebody else is getting more defensive reps. So just keep all that stuff in mind, but there's the list. It's actually only 15 guys. Roby clearly on the active roster now. Now let's take a look at the New York Jets, and they've got some important pieces missing as well and questionable. So let's take a look, but love to hear your thoughts on the Eagles. Are you freaking out? Is it or are you okay? This team knows how to just next man up with everything. And, the New York Jets, a beatable team with these missing pieces. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but let's take a look at the Jets here. And, man, DJ Reed, one of the most underrated corners in the game, he is going to miss this one with a concussion. And, Hardy and Eccles as well. So the three guys that are out are all cornerbacks. And we talked about this throughout the week. Hopefully you've been checking out not only the injury reports, but behind enemy lines, the top matchups, breaking down what these things could mean. And, man, they're missing three of their corners. And Sauce Gardner shows up on the list today, did not practice with an illness. Now, Robert Saleh said that he expects Sauce Gardner to play. So he is questionable, but we'll see. Then you've got Clemens on defense as well, and Nick Bowden, the fullback, questionable. But one of the top matchups we talked about was their return man, the guy that he's a return specialist. He can kick return, he can punt return, he can do both. And there's a few people in the NFL that can still do that and do it well. And Gibson, he is a young rookie who took the job from McCole Hardman, and he's doing well. So if he's missing, clearly Hardman would probably take his place, but that would be a big blow to them. We talked about how well he and Covey are doing this year. Go check out those top matchups, but that could be another big blow for them. Now, before I show you their depth chart, here is a look at their reserves, who is missing. They've got a big list here. Anai Brown, Clark, Guidry, Nazarul Dean, Odenigbo, Rogers, Warren, Yaboa, and Vera Tucker, all on IR, and then Bernard Converse on the PUP list there. So if you're looking for any of these names, You're not going to find them on the depth chart. They are right here. Anyone in black is new to the team this season. Now, let's take a look at the offense here. We talked about the fullback, Nick Bowden, being questionable all the way over there to the right. And then you see Xavier Gibson. Not so much in the offensive department will they need him, but they just signed Irvin Charles to the active roster this week once they placed Elijah Vera-Tucker on IR. Now, what they're going to do at right tackle, I'm not sure, whether it's Max Mitchell, Billy Turner, they want to mix and match some of these guys they already have as starters. I'm not sure which way they go here, but man, they've been doing this all season already. Unfortunate for them, but this Eagles defense needs to attack this offensive line. Mekhi Becton was dealing with injuries this week and last, so we'll see. But they've got a couple injuries to keep an eye on there. And then on the defense, we talked about, holy hell, 3 corners being out there in DJ Reed, Brandon Eccles, and Justin Hardy. So they're expecting Sauce to play, but Bryce Hall would, slide in here. I'll show you their practice squad here. So probably going to elevate 1, maybe 2 cornerbacks for this game with their injuries. And then you can see questionable Michael Clemens there, one of the defensive ends, but everybody else good to go there for their defense. But man, that cornerback room about to get worked by A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Sauce is going to be out there. And Michael Carter, the second, we've talked about one of the better nickel corners in the game. So they still got a couple good pieces here. Don't sleep on them, but still a big loss. And Justin Hardy, one of their probably their best special teams players. So you got to look at all facets of the game here, and that could be another big loss to their special teams department. And, like we talked about, Xavier Gibson, one of the better returners, and he is questionable for this game. So Hardman could step in and do both. And obviously he was inactive last week. We talked about they haven't been using him because Gibson's been doing so well. So we'll keep our eyes on all of these things. And here is their practice squad, so you can get a look at some of the guys, maybe Kalen Barnes, Tay Hayes. But we're talking about Craig James this week, former Eagle. Maybe one of these guys gets elevated. I think Craig James will definitely be one of them because of what he can do in the special teams department, if you guys remember. So, look, both teams got some question marks here as to what they're going to do, but I will be here tomorrow with those practice squad elevations around 3:30, 4 o'clock when they drop. I will give you that with the updated depth chart with the new guys in, any updates to the game statuses, so anybody questionable is now out or anybody is added to the list, you will know that. But before tomorrow's practice squad elevations, I will see you tonight live for Fan Friday. Thinking that's going to be around 8 o'clock tonight. So I hope to see you then, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this one. If you got anything from this, do me a favor, hit that like button down below. You can always hit that subscribe button. Join us live tonight, or, always just tune in. And look, you guys are awesome with all the comments. Love talking birds. I'm trying to keep up with all of them. You guys are way too kind. And this thing's growing. I'm trying my best here, but I'll always get back to you. Don't ever think I'm ignoring you. I get back to every damn comment I can. So sometimes YouTube doesn't want to show me them, and I got to go into videos and see them. But, Jesus. But you guys are awesome. You keep showing up, and I'll keep pumping this content out, everything you possibly need to know about the Eagles and their opponent each and every week. But that's all you need to know when it comes to the game status report for Week 6, Eagles and Jets. Appreciate you all taking the time. Hope you're having yourselves a great week. It's Friday the 13th. Oh, Lord. The moon will be out. Whatever, if you guys believe in that stuff. But let's go, Eagles. Let's next man up, man. No freaking out. No need to lose your mind. They will be just fine. But have yourselves a great Friday. Hope to see you later. But until then, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You stay safe out there. And as always, go Birds!